Hey, what is up, everybody? It is Daily Tarot Readings by Ross Cessna here, coming at you live from Spiritual Phoenix Studios in Girard, Ohio. I have a reading today for my Sagittarius suns and Cancer moons. It can also be for fire and water signs. And there's also these couple cards down here for the general collective, and then one big card at the end for everybody. Everybody gets a card. Top up here though is for the Sagittarius sun and Cancer moons, or fire and water signs. So that being said, we're going to look at love, emotional wealth, or emotional health, and then wealth. Wow, man, I need to drink more coffee. It's been a long day. So in love right now, for my Sag suns and Cancer moons, or fire and water signs, you have 10 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups really is about happiness and alignment. It's one of the most positive cards in all of tarot, and no matter how it comes up, it's still good. The reversal aspect of this is saying that maybe something where you're really putting a lot of energy isn't going to work out how you think it will. Pardon me. But in the long run, it's actually going to be for the better that it doesn't work out how you think it should. And I know, what does that mean? What you talking about? Just give it time and you'll see what I mean. Sometimes the things that we want, we'll become really grateful for the things that things didn't work out the way that we wanted them to. So keep that in mind. One thing I want to say too is these readings are timeless. So whether you see this the day that I drop it or you catch up with it a year later, this information should still be pertinent to you if you're on the same wavelength as me, and if not, that's totally fine too. No stress, no mess. Now, for the general population in regards to love, you have Stag. Stag is relative to the Strength in traditional tarot. Strength is all about courage and willpower. So I would take this as sometimes love is saying the difficult thing to people. Sometimes love is having the courage to express what's actually on your mind. Sometimes love is having the courage to not say what's on your mind, and the strength to allow somebody else to be where they're at. The Western civilization has this really diluted sense of love, and the more we really kind of begin to look at it, the more we'll see that maybe there's a different way to approach these situations. And I hope that that makes sense to you guys. Now we're going to move back to the Sag sun and Cancer moons, or fire and water signs, for an emotional health card. Y'all have 20, the Great Bear. This is a judgment in traditional tarot. I like the way that it's presented in this deck because it shows this person having to face this kind of intimidating situation prior to getting into this cave. And the actual meaning of the card is absolution, and it's the ability to actually look at yourself and wipe the slate clean. So there's this concept of self-forgiveness, but self-forgiveness without really processing the damage that we've done to other people is pretty BS. There's a meme that I've seen going around on Facebook where it's like, I'm sorry if I've ever been the toxic person to you. That's some toxic stuff right there. If you want to apologize for being the toxic person, it's actually figuring out what toxic behavior you did. And for me, like when I've gone through and looked back at my life, I've been able to identify a lot of toxic traits. And I'm not saying that I've gotten all of them, but I'm also not making a blanket statement on social media about apologizing for being toxic without having done any footwork. And to me, facing this bear is the footwork that allows you to have a clean slate and feel better about yourself. And there's a reason that's at the end, right before the World card, because at the World card, it's this whole pivotal shift in your life. And that pivotal shift in your life comes from facing this, having that showdown with yourself and the BS that you've done in order to move forward. So emotionally, health-wise, if you guys are willing to do the challenge of the shadow work, you're going to be liberated. Now for the general population with the emotional health, you all have the wheel. So the wheel is about karma or destiny. So this is one of the things that's somewhat unfortunate, and I dislike using karma in this sense because it's the misuse of karma. It's not like the traditional meaning of karma is what I'm getting at here, but the way that I would take this is we're reaping what we're sowing emotionally. So if you're emotionally unhappy right now, you've probably been investing yourself in a toxic situation that you knew wasn't right and ignoring a lot of red flags and really getting that. And if you're in a really good situation, in a good spot right now, that's the result of the choices that you made. The other aspect of the wheel, though, and I like the way it's represented in this card, is it's all cyclical. So remember, if you're on the bottom, you'll be on the top again. And if you're on the top, remember that coming back down to the bottom and being grounded by reality is also a part of that. So enjoy where you're at, but understand that it's always temporary and it's always fluctuating and changing. There's always a lesson to be learned there. Now back to the Sagittarius suns and Cancer moons for your wealth card. You all have 3 of bows coming up for you. This is 3 of wands in traditional tarot. And it shows that you didn't have the preparation or foresight to really cash in on something recently. So you didn't really fulfill everything that you could have had you been paying a little bit more attention or had you been operating in a wise fashion. And I understand that might be frustrating to some of you, but it's one of those things, live and learn. And I'm a big proponent of every reversal can be righted. So wealth-wise, if you actually look at the ways that you've been missing out on fulfilling a lot of stuff due to lack of preparation or lack of seeing things through, this gives you a good opportunity to switch it up. And then finally, for my general population here, we come to the wealth card for y'all. You will have 7 of stones. 7 of stones is profit, vision, and investment. You all got a reversal on that too. So there's this sense of not really bringing in a lot of money, not really having the sense of vision to see things, and not really investing yourself well. This could also be not a big return on investment. It's interesting in this deck because the card itself is called Healing. And I would take this as more so an investment on other people, although it's about wealth. Wealth isn't just money. Wealth is also the relationships that we have, the ability to have free time, and things of that nature. So there's this sense of not investing yourself wisely. This is asking you to look at how you're spending your time in your life and make sure that it's bringing you joy and actually getting you what you want out of life. If it's not, make changes, make course adjustments. That's what growing and adapting is all about, people. And then this is for my Sagittarius suns and Cancer moons, my fire and water signs, and the general population overall. You all have the Grace card. The Grace card really is about the ability to navigate your emotions and psychic waters with grace and ease. And there's also the whole full moon in there. Full moons are typically times when psych wards and jails fill up because it's an emotionally stressful time for most people. We just had the full moon yesterday. If you've been able to navigate it without any major mishaps, that takes a little bit of grace because that energy can be somewhat sticky and tense. The other aspect of this grace is really, if you notice the yellow is relative to navel chakra. That's about sense of self and self-worth. You've been gracefully able to navigate how you see yourself, and there's some reward and benefit in there. And then there's the staircase over here. The staircase is this process of ascension to higher levels of spiritual being and really dialing in how you see yourself on this path of enlightenment. The more that we put ourselves into doing shadow work, the more difficult experiences that we encounter, the more we smooth off the rough edges, and the more capable we are of natural grace. Forced grace is really freaking awkward. True grace is a result of having our edges smoothed by time and by bumping our heads. I want to thank you all so much for watching this. If you're on Facebook, please share this video wherever you think it might be beneficial. Like my channel or like my page. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment, and I'm gonna get ready to do a live here. So thank you so much. Have a blessed evening, people, and I will be on live very soon. Peace.